Hello everyone and welcome back to a new episode of the series Hometowns. Today we are in southern Germany in a relatively big city with 130,000 inhabitants named Ulm. Mainly, I would say, famous for this big church here, which might even be the highest in the world, certainly the highest top antenna part, spiral thing, top. Yeah, that's indeed very nice, but we are not here for that. We are here because not too far from this church, which I assume was already standing, was born Albert Einstein. Yes, the famous scientist, physician, astrophysician, Nobel Prize winner, theory of relativity, and I guess just a really nice bloke as well. He was born in, let's go over to Google Maps. He was born, ironically, right by the Hauptbahnhof. In fact, Hauptbahnhof is the central train station. In fact, when we type his name, we see all sorts of places popping up that are related to him and just really named after him. From auditoriums to organizations to a climbing hall to city squares, pharmacies, all these sorts of things. But this one here, it says his birth house. I guess it is somewhere there. And there is supposedly a statue of him. Well, this was wrong. There's just a statue that is supposed to, there he is. It says shop to rent. Well, that's very nice. And that's him. I mean, that's not him, but that is in his honor, because he was born in the street number 20. In fact, we should probably check where that is. Exactly. Okay, well, times have changed here. Now there's a, shop and a shopping mall, underwear store. There's something written here. Perhaps we can read. Perhaps we can we read that? No. Probably it says here was Albert Einstein born. Then and then 1879, 14th of March, I believe. Maybe it was the exact location, you know? Maybe the houses were sort of in a different place. Well, a few words more about the city where he was born. Ulm is directly at the border between Baden-Württemberg and Bavaria. In fact, the Danube River that flows through here is the border in this part. Changes here. And there's something like New Ulm, which is Bavaria. And, back in the days, they founded a new city on the other side of the river that couldn't be combined with the already existing city because it was a different territorium, ruled by a different person, I suppose. But yeah, he was born in the original Ulm, just somewhere here. This is obviously a very new part, but these areas here are somewhat more historic. So it would be just fun to see what it's like here, you know. All these buildings are not that old, I believe. But maybe we find some buildings of the time that are as old as when he was born. Is this even English? Let's have a look what it is like here in Ulm. This is what I would call like a pre-old town. It's not an old town, although this is generally part of the old town. It just kind of looks like everything is new. I mean, the scale is, how I would imagine it back in the days. And I would imagine a house like this, even though this is also new. But, a house similar to this might have been where he was born. Probably it had these kind of window blinds that you could just fold, you know. And yeah, he did live. Oh wow, here you can see the. Oh, what a level of detail, though. You can see the famous Münster, I believe it's called Ulmer Münster, but yeah, let's just call it the church. This is maybe a more historic house. Yeah, it's just a really, I mean, it's a fairly big place, not, you know, certainly a regional capital once again, and yeah, I guess he has then moved with his family to Munich. Later in life, he lived in the US and various places. I just can't quite recall in which city that was. Well, anyway, interestingly enough, he has given a statement about his home city, which I want to read to you. I've translated it here. And he says, well, the city of birth attaches itself to life as something as unique as the origin from the birth mother. We also owe a part of our being to the city of our birth. So I remember Ulm with gratitude, as it combines noble artistic tradition with a simple and healthy character. Yeah, I don't know much about his character. I somehow imagine him friendly, but maybe that's just because his face, you know, this famous picture with the tongue out, has become so iconic, and he just kind of looks like a nice, yeah, bloke, I would say. But yeah, apparently he has fond memories of Ulm, and they have somehow influenced him. Because sometimes I think in life, you know, you are born in the place, maybe you don't remember your childhood that much, but later in life you think about it and you get told stories about you being young from your parents, and you kind of, yeah, kind of find an entry point to it and kind of realize, okay, yeah, maybe it was like this. But yeah, streets like this, obviously historic houses like this is what I was looking for, with the wooden beams visible. Also like this is where Einstein could have walked, maybe on this side canal of the Danube River here. And yeah, I would like to check a few more places that are sort of named after him. Such as, well, here it says place of birth. It doesn't have many good reviews, so maybe it's not. Here's an Albert Einstein Discovery Center. Well, if you have someone that famous from your city, you're really gonna capitalize on it. You're not gonna be, yes, you are gonna be doing just that. Well, it doesn't look like there's much to discover here, I have to admit. Perhaps we should have just clicked on the thing itself. 14 pictures. Oh yeah. Here he is in life size. Oh, pretty elegant, you know. I didn't know, I've never seen him with a hat. Here you can buy a t-shirt. Maybe the shop doesn't exist anymore, or didn't exist back then. Here's the stadium where he first performed as a young musician. Yeah, a strange place. I wonder if it's still a thing. Here we have a concert hall named after him, cafe and bar. There's also a cafe chain in Berlin, or even beyond, where I have liked to frequent in the past. And there was also, this here in the middle. You know, back in the days, these houses had probably courtyards, and this particular courtyard here, which was probably the back of his house, where you can't even really go at the moment, is named after him. So that's all pretty cool. I want to look now where he lived. Yes, this is what I was talking about. Now, Princeton is, of course, in itself not such a big city. I mean, famous for the university where he will have spent most of its time, I guess, also teaching. And I believe this is the house where he was living later in life. This is Albert Einstein's house right here. I would say that's a pretty humble house for Nobel Prize winner and star, a rock star, a maniac of science. And yeah, I can imagine to feel really well here. I mean, look how nice it looks here. You know, it just looks really, really, really nice, I have to say. And being born in Bahnhofstraße, I just can't imagine that it was so nice there, close to the central train station. It just looks like a place that, you know, a lot of coming and going, just like today, really. Einstein House, Munich, perhaps. There will be something coming up. No, but we see that even in Munich, I don't find where the family lived now, but anyway, even in Munich there are places named after Einstein. Cultural Center, great place for drinks. Yeah, so, you know, it's famous people have this sort of trajectory in life. I mean, they get to a place that eventually makes them famous through some work, but they have had various stops on the way there. And yeah, in this series, I'm gonna show them to you and just see what it's like. Here's an Einstein house as well, where he, in Bern, yeah, he lived in all sorts of places. Second floor flat rented by Albert Einstein in the 1900s. Let's have a quick look at it, just to see. Yeah, somewhere here. Wow. What a street. Every house is the same. But yeah, he was a noble man after all, you know, he lived in city centers. Right, this is what was how the house looked. Gosh, I should have done this from the start. Well, is it him here on the balcony? No, that would have been wild. Yeah, like in such a house he was born. And he said also here, by the way, another quote that I almost forgot to read to you. The house is quite nice to be born in because on this occasion you don't have such great aesthetic needs. But you start by shouting at your loved ones without paying much attention to the reasons and circumstances. A bit confusing quote, but okay. 1871 the house was built and 1944 it was destroyed. He didn't have any special relation to this house in particular, maybe to the city. Yeah, and he it says he was sent a picture of his house in 1945 after it was destroyed. And all he had to say to this picture was, time has been much more difficult for the house than me. Yeah. But anyway, he, yeah, seemingly ambiguous relationship to the place where he was born, but also he acknowledges its influences later in life. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.